Flowers to remember victims of crime in South Africa. The show of solidarity is the only way this community knows how to voice its concerns about the country's high and sometimes violent crime rates. But it won't bring back those they've lost. 19-year-old Leanne Snyman says she's traumatized. 6 months ago, her father was murdered for 2 mobile phones and a laptop. A tragedy that changed her views on her country hosting the World Cup.
I want to be out of South Africa when the World Cup is here, not because I'm not supporting the World Cup. It's because I'm too petrified on how high the crime levels are going to go. You know, I'm scared.
South Africa has poured more than $200 million into its World Cup security plan. Foot patrols to flush out criminals are on the increase. Here, police and the army raid the home of a suspected drug lord in Soweto Township. High police visibility throughout the football tournament is one way of tackling crime. They are confident South Africa will host a safe tournament. Officials accuse critics of sabotaging Africa's first ever World Cup.
Crime is a concern in South Africa, and we have been very open about it. There are very few countries who consistently give out crime statistics, and because of that we measure ourselves. But again, it cannot constitute the kind of malice we've had.
Despite police assurances, some are still concerned about violent crime in South Africa. But security experts in the country say it's important to put things in perspective.
Up to 80% of the murders that take place in South Africa occur as a result of disputes between people who know each other. In other words, 80% of the murders in most communities that have high murder rates, the victim is known to perpetrator.
So while foreigners attending the World Cup may not be at high risk, locals, especially the poor, are. Statistics show that the people most affected by violent crime in South Africa are mainly poor and black. Many of them live in poor township areas and informal settlements, where most can't afford private security to protect themselves and their belongings. MILDRED PITMAN has lived in Alexandra Township for over 60 years. She says she's lost count of the number of times her home has been broken into. But the worst, she says, are the murders.
It's getting worse now. There was sound of rape, others raped, killed, raped, taken. Cell phones, these cell phones came with nonsense as well. Ooh, it's terrible.
The country's high unemployment rate is partly to blame for high levels of crime here. Often the obscenely wealthy live minutes away from the desperately poor. South Africa hopes for an economic boost from the World Cup, but the country will be dealing with its legacy of poverty long after football's biggest tournament has left the continent. Haru Mutasa, Jazeera, Johannesburg, South Africa.